Is a naked bike the best beginner bike? Well, they're pretty good at a lot of things. Why don't we take a little ride and talk about that? Before we get started, I'd like to take a second to ask you if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel. I'm definitely going to be making a lot more content. I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to get monetized here and grow this a little more, so if you wouldn't mind, it'd help me out a lot. Anyways, naked bikes. What are they? Well, a lot of times they're a more standard handlebars instead of clip-ons. Clip-ons are where the forks come up a little bit and the bars come down. Pegs are a little lower, a little more of what's considered a standard, more upright riding position. Not all the way of like a dual sport or ADV bike where you'd be sitting straight up, but not as aggressive as a sport or super sport. A lot of times now they come with this parallel twin, 2 cylinders, side by side, instead of the triples or 4 cylinders in a lot of the super sports. There are some older variants that still have V-twins, where a cylinder there, and you can get them in the 4-cylinder and triples as well. They're definitely more approachable seat heights than, say, like an adventure bike or a dual sport, whereas my adventure bike's like 33 and my dual sport's 35. This is 31.9, so quite a bit easier reach to the ground. Another thing that separates it from super sport bikes is the lack of fairings. Whereas super sports would have fairings all around, this is way more accessible for maintenance, way less money if you drop it, especially if you do some sliders like I have. Now, windscreen, I put this on. That's something I did, just a little more comfort out of it. But let's take a little ride and see how they do. Alright, as you can see here, I'm 5'7", and I have no problem flat-footing this thing. Very approachable. Now they make these bikes, almost all manufacturers make a version, some sort of a naked bike, and multiple engine configurations, sizes, speeds. You can get them all the way down to, I think KTM does a Duke 200, which is a very small, very low powered, I guess say approachable, and here in the US at least, probably underpowered. And we have a lot of open roads here, all the way up to 1290, I think, what is that, 1390, the new Super Duke, 190 plus horsepower, crazy. Or some of the Street Fighter V4 Ducatis, very fast. Those are definitely not beginner bikes. This Yamaha MT-07, 689 cc's, I want to say, like right at 65 horsepower with the tire, I think. Very approachable. Now let's go for a ride. Now, if you've never rode a bike before, something this power level, at least while you're learning the clutch and stuff, could seem a little intimidating. I don't think it's too bad. I did have a lot more experience though when I got this. And like this particular model has ABS, which is, I think, really good, especially when you're first learning. So you can go and you can grab a handful of brake and not worry too bad about skidding, which is pretty useful, especially when you're learning. Be pretty aggressive. Now I think the seating position is fairly comfortable, a little more higher pegged. Your feet are a little higher up. You're leaning forward just a bit more than, say, a ADV or a dual sport, but not aggressive. You're not all the way hunched over. And you can get the, like I said, my first bike, street bike I got was a Z400 Kawasaki. That was only 40 something horsepower. Definitely approachable power range, whereas this one's got a little bit more torque. You can find these bikes, all different styles, used, new. I think I've seen, see if I could find a picture of it, Duke 390, which is a single cylinder, 40 something horsepower, right now on clearance. I think I've seen it for like $3,200 brand new. You can find these MTs in the 5,000 or less range, used with not too bad mileage. I mean, this is a Yamaha. I've seen reports of these same motors that they run in, like the Tenere 700, same ADV style, but same motor, running in that upwards towards that 100,000 mile range, which is really good with some routine maintenance. I think these bikes offer a lot of versatility for a beginner rider in price, comfort, not being overly powerful, but powerful enough to have some fun. Handling, usually they handle quite a bit better on the street than some, say like cruisers or something. Cruisers might have a much lower seat height, but they're usually quite a bit heavier, and they're just not made to turn quite as aggressively or as smoothly, I should say. Brakes on these usually pretty good. This one's, I know some people complain about the brakes on this particular bike, but maybe we can see if we still stops good. Now there's various models though, various models with various brakes and engines and configurations, but also if you do happen to drop this bike compared to a fully fared sport bike, it is going to be quite a bit cheaper because you're not putting all those fairings on, especially if you do, like I said, crash protection like I have, where you're not going to be quite so much plastic maintenance. I don't have to take off half the stuff to do maintenance on this thing. Compared to some of the other bikes like the Dual Sport and ADV bike, these are just so approachable. Like I said, the reach to the ground is so easy. Flat foot. I'm short. I'm still flat footing. If you're shorter than me, you might not flat foot, but it's going to be a lot better than a tall bike. And the weight on this thing, for like right at 406, I think, stock. So very lightweight. And obviously when you put an exhaust on it, especially this one, it sounds really good. Makes it sound really nice. So I don't know, what do you think? Is a naked bike for you? Is that the type of bike you might be interested in? Why don't you let me know what your particular interest in a bike is. Is it naked? Is it ADV? Is it sport? Cruiser? Just let me know. What do you think? Well, let's hop on the road just for a minute. That way we can play just a little bit. Oh, there's a horse, so let's do some practice our riding quiet. I don't want to spook a horse. Try to coast past the best I can. I don't want to spook a horse. That's not polite. But we can go up this way where there's no horses, and then we can play just a little bit. So how's it do on the highway? Well, like we talked about with the lack of fairing, you're in the wind. There's no way to get around that. I do have a windscreen on this, which I think they say it takes about 25% off of your body. Your helmet's still in the wind. But I've done this for 3-4 hours on long rides. I've commuted to work on it. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, if you're on an interstate and you're doing flow, say the flow traffic's doing 85, 90, you're going to get tired. It is going to push on you. It's a lot. But 55, 65, I don't think it's that big a deal. But the little windscreen edition, which is an option on most bikes, some aftermarket. So this is a Puig. It makes a huge difference. Adjust my mirror. So I don't know. I have to say, I think it's a great option. There's a lot of great options, but this one definitely has some benefits. So I guess the decision's up to you. Well, anyways, if you wouldn't mind liking this video, if you have any questions, comment. You can throw out your opinions, tell me what you like. I mean, if you're anyone thinking about getting into bikes, you can share this video. That'd help me out. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. And until then, ride safe.